The Kelvari hunting party had been tracking the Razor Wing through the crimson forest of Theta 7 for 3 solar cycles. Commander Thexnell moved with the fluid grace of his species. 8 feet of corded muscle, obsidian scales, and predatory instinct honed over millions of years of evolution. His kind sat atop the food chain on 17 colonized worlds. The human, Marcus Webb, followed behind with what the Kelvari considered laughable clumsiness. He stumbled over roots, made noise breathing, and radiated heat like a malfunctioning reactor. Thexnell had protested when command assigned the human to his unit. But the Galactic Council's integration mandates were absolute. Try to keep up, soft skin, Thexnell hissed, using the derogatory term his warriors had coined for the humans. Marcus said nothing, adjusting the strange pack on his back. The Kelvari had mocked it. Humans needed so much equipment just to survive. Water, rations, medical supplies. Pathetic. Young Kretcha, Thexnell's nephew, bounded ahead with the enthusiasm of youth. At only 15 solar cycles, he was on his first hunt, eager to prove himself worthy of the warrior caste. His scales gleamed bright green, not yet darkened by age and battle. The forest erupted. Plasma fire lit the canopy in strobing purple flashes. The Razorwing had been bait. Pirates, a mixed crew of Vendathi raiders and rogue Kelvari, had ambushed them. Thexnell's warriors scattered, returning fire, their disciplined formation dissolving into chaos. "Kretcha!" Thexnell roared, seeing his nephew caught in the open. The young Kelvari took a plasma bolt to his leg and went down, crying out, a sound that activated every protective instinct in Thexnell's warrior heart. But the commander was pinned behind cover, 3 raiders focusing their fire on his position. Kretcha whimpered once, a quiet sound. Almost inaudible over the firefight, Marcus heard it. The human didn't ask for orders, didn't wait for permission, didn't calculate odds or risk assessment. One moment he was crouched behind a boulder. The next he was running, straight toward the gunfire, toward the wounded cub, that ridiculous pack bouncing on his shoulders. Human. "No," Thexnell bellowed, but Marcus didn't stop. Plasma bolts carved the air around him. The raiders, surprised by the suicide charge, adjusted their aim. Marcus zagged left then right, moving with a chaotic unpredictability that their targeting systems couldn't track. A bolt grazed his shoulder, burning through his uniform. He didn't slow down. Thexnell watched in disbelief as the human dove sliding across the blood-slicked ground to Kretcha's position. Marcus threw his body over the young Kelvari, that soft, fragile human body acting as a shield between the cub and certain death. "I've got you, kid," Marcus said, voice steady despite the hell raining around them. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, pulling medical foam from his pack. He sprayed Kretcha's leg wound while plasma bolts hammered the ground centimeters away. The human's fingers never trembled. Thexnell felt something crack inside his chest, some assumption he'd carried his entire life. Marcus grabbed Kretcha, lifting the young Kelvari despite the species' dense bone structure, making him nearly twice the human's weight. Muscle and tendon screamed protest, but Marcus carried him, running back toward cover in a serpentine pattern, using his own body as a shield. A plasma bolt caught Marcus in the back. His pack exploded in a shower of supplies and flame. He stumbled but didn't fall, didn't drop Kretcha. 3 more steps. 2. He literally threw the young Kelvari behind the boulder where Thexnell crouched, then collapsed. The burn wound on Marcus's back was catastrophic. Through the smoking hole in his uniform, Thexnell could see charred flesh and exposed bone. The human should be screaming, should be dead. Instead, Marcus rolled onto his stomach, unslung his rifle, and started returning fire. "Where are they concentrated?" he asked through gritted teeth. Thexnell's tactical implants came back online, shock giving way to warrior instinct. "North Ridge, 7 hostiles. Cover me." "You can't possibly—" Marcus was already moving again. This time, Thexnell's warriors understood. They laid down, suppressing fire as the human, the impossible, insane, magnificent human, flanked the raider position. He moved like he was possessed by some ancient war god, ignoring pain that would have incapacitated any Kelvari. The raiders never expected the frontal assault to become a pincer movement. Marcus hit them from the side, his rifle barking short, controlled bursts. His tactics were crude compared to Kelvari precision, but they were effective. More importantly, they were fearless. When the last raider fell, silence reclaimed the forest. Marcus walked back to their position, leaving a trail of blood. He knelt beside Kretcha, checking the young Kelvari's stabilized wound with gentle hands. Only then did he allow himself to collapse. Thexnel caught him before he hit the ground. Why? The commander asked, genuine incomprehension in his voice. You barely know us. We've shown you nothing but contempt. Why would you? Marcus looked up at him with eyes that held something ancient, something that transcended species. He's a kid, the human said simply, as if that explained everything, and perhaps it did. Thexnel had studied human history during the mandatory integration courses. He'd read about their wars, their violence, their capacity for destruction. But he'd missed the other pattern woven through their bloody past. Humans running into burning buildings, humans throwing themselves on grenades, humans forming protective circles around the wounded regardless of tribe or clan. Humans didn't ask if someone needed help. They asked, how fast can I get there, medic? Thexnel roared, his voice carrying new respect. Get the human to medical immediately. As they loaded Marcus onto the emergency transport, Kretcha crawled over, his young face painted with confusion and gratitude. Why did you save me, human? Marcus managed a weak smile. Because that's what we do, kid. Someone needs help, you help them. Someone's in danger, you run toward them, not away. It's just what humans do. Later, after Marcus had been stabilized and the mission reports filed, Thexnel stood before the Galactic Council. He requested that all soft-skin references be stricken from Kelvari military vocabulary. He proposed humans be integrated into all warrior units, not as a quota requirement but as an essential component. They don't have our scales, he told the assembled delegates. They don't have our strength or our predatory instincts, but they have something we lack, something we need to learn. And what is that? The Council Prime asked. Thexnel thought of Marcus diving through plasma fire, thought of that split-second decision to abandon safety for a child of another species. They have a word in their oldest languages, he said. Courage. Not the absence of fear, but action despite fear. They are soft, yes, fragile. But they are also the bravest species I have ever encountered. In the medical bay, Marcus slept, his body wrapped in regenerative bandages. Beside his bed, young Kretcha kept vigil, a warrior in training learning his most important lesson. Some predators are born with claws and fangs. Others forge themselves in fire. Again and again, choosing to run toward danger when every instinct screams to flee. The galaxy was beginning to understand which type was truly apex. Andy.